you said, for so long, my version of healthy was the lowest calorie salad dressing, miracle noodles. We're going to talk about those. Protein bars, 100-calorie packs, and anything that said skinny on the label. I wasn't focusing on how food made me feel. I was only focused on making myself smaller. Now, my meals are built around mostly whole, nutrient-dense foods, but they also include pancakes, sweet potato fries, chocolate, and meals I actually enjoy. Can you talk about this evolution from extreme restriction, lowest calorie, skinny foods to more being able to enjoy the majority of your diet being whole, minimally processed, nutrient dense, but also pancakes, sweet potato fries? I was like, can you talk about that evolution?
Yeah, first of all, I'm a slut for sweet potato fries and chocolate.
You looked right at the camera as you said that. That was actually really funny. You direct, I'm a slut. That was really funny. Okay.
I used to be an actor, so I have comedic timing.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I convinced myself that those foods were actually good. Like that was my problem. Is I was sitting there, I remember, God, in bodybuilding, this is how you know it was so bad. There was a point in the bodybuilding prep where there was this like hot sauce that I would just pour all over my food because it had like a little bit of flavor to it. And I had my chicken and my I think rice was gone at that point. And so I had my chicken and asparagus. I vividly remember, this is crazy. I remember sitting in the break room at work and just dumping as much of that sauce and mustard as I could because it was 0 calories.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, this is so good. And it tasted so good because you're so malnourished at that point that you're like, oh my gosh, this is the pinnacle of health. When the reality was it was just keeping you alive. So I probably added a lot of calories to my diet from that. As much as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
I know. I'm literally that's how I was surviving.
It's always funny when people post on social media, when someone says this tastes exactly like.
No.
It never tastes
it's a lie.
This is like brownies, or this tastes exactly like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The only thing that tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
The only thing that tastes like brownies is real brownies. Don't give me your listen, my wife makes incredible protein pancakes. They're amazing. I love them. But it's not like going to the diner and having the fucking full fat butter on the pan. It's just not.
Yeah.
And you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. It's I'll trust you less if you say that, to be honest.
Yes.
But so I mean, to go from a lot of it came from being a lack of education. And so again, I didn't understand macronutrients. So this is where I think that macros get tracking macros gets a bad reputation because it can help you understand portion control. One thing that you talk about a lot that I love, or at least you used to, which was the hand method and the plate method. And I think both of those are great because I think that understanding how to build a balanced plate is something that if you just learn that, you can change your entire body composition. And obviously kind of graduating to understanding how, even if it's not the correct portions on the plate, but it's maybe a burger, this now fits that. And so I got there because of lack of education and, again, a drive to purely focus on aesthetics versus my health. And the way that it changed was expanding my knowledge. So again, understanding macronutrient breakdowns, understanding calories in versus calories out, as much as people hate to hear that. It helps you understand that, oh, okay, if I'm not losing weight, it's because I'm not in a calorie deficit. If I want to maintain my weight, I need to eat roughly this amount. And also it can help you learn how to eat more intuitively, because I think that intuitive eating gets such a bad reputation because I'm if I was to actually intuitively eat, I would eat an entire bar of chocolate every single day.
Yeah.
But when you have more structured meals that provide you with the nutrients that you need, you can actually eat more intuitively because you're oh, I had 2 cookies and now I actually feel satisfied instead of feeling like I'm deprived or starving. So
why do you think people get so upset hearing that calories are so important? What do you think is, because it's a fact. It's as simple as being if you want the car to go faster, then you press the pedal down more. It would be as if someone was getting upset about that. Why do you think people get so emotional and angry hearing that? Well, it does come down to calories. Where do you think that comes from?
I think there's a couple of things. I think one, as a society, we've put such a moral value on food. And so they think that they're doing something almost like wrong, like, or bad. And I think that then ties to like the other aspect that I think of, which is a lot of times people don't want to take accountability for the role that they're playing in the lack of results that they're getting. I don't want to say always, because sometimes like you can never say always anyways. Be alarmed if someone's like always. But a lot of times like we want to blame something else, and then we're just like, oh, okay, like it's not my fault. Well, no, that can't be true. It's not my fault. When again, kind of going back to like, have you been consistent for 3 months and like actually, and again, you don't have to track macros. You can do the plate method. You can like focus on mostly whole nutrient dense foods. It's really freaking hard to overeat whole nutrient dense foods if you have like mostly protein on the plate and then a bunch of vegetables and then like some carbs and fats. And so I think that that's kind of why a lot of people don't want to put their egos to the side. Because it sucks when you realize that it's your fault or it's your responsibility. And like that's not meant to be a bad thing. I think as human beings, we've gotten too emotionally connected to, again, like food and our bodies when there is an emotional tie to it. Like again, like a lot of times for birthdays and for different holidays and things, like we celebrate with food, which is such a beautiful thing. And it's so exciting. And you should be able to eat it without being scared or feeling guilty or overindulging. Like to the point where you're so uncomfortable. Because that's the thing is you take the holiday and you're like, okay, I'm going to eat to the point where I'm like in pain. That's not healthy either. So I think those are some of the bigger components for why people get so upset.
You know, it's interesting. I feel as though when you learn about calories, if you, as you said, take the ego out of it, and once you objectively analyze it, it actually becomes much more freeing. Because now it gives you the ability to eat guilt-free.
Yeah.
Whereas I think people, when they start to get upset about it, they almost say, they feel as though you're telling them you're lying. And they literally might not be lying. That's more likely they're just unaware. Right?
Yeah.
And like they're like, I'm not lying. It's like, I'm not saying you're lying. Maybe there's something you're not aware of.
Yeah.
And once you become aware of it, then you can actually enjoy the cake guilt-free. You can enjoy the pizza guilt-free. It's a huge obstacle to overcome, because once you overcome it, it's so empowering.
Yeah.
And it removes the moral value from the food. And it's like, hey, you can enjoy this guilt-free, no issues, and then also focus on the majority of the time foods that are more nutritious, more nutrient dense, but also feel free to enjoy these less nutritious, less nutrient dense foods and enjoy them without feeling guilty about it.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that, again, like if people, it's kind of like the scale.
Yeah.
Where it's like they get really emotionally tied to it and they like put all their worth on it. And I'm like, if you remove emotion, which is hard. We are human beings. We are emotional.
Yep.
And so it's really hard to remove the emotion out of it. And so I'm never ignorant to that. But if you can remove the emotion and like, or address the emotion, hold space for it, and then move forward with logic, then you're going to be able to kind of be more objective about it.